Have we been rooting for the wrong person this entire time? What if the biggest threat inside the silo isn't Bernard, isn't Camille, isn't even the mysterious algorithm? What if it's Juliette Nichols herself? That sounds impossible after everything we've watched over the last 3 seasons. But episode 4 quietly plants the seeds for one of the boldest twists this series has ever attempted. By the end of this episode, the lines between hero and villain become so blurred that it's almost impossible to tell which side is actually trying to save humanity. And that's exactly what makes this chapter one of the smartest episodes Silo has ever produced. For years, we follow Juliette because she represents hope. She's the engineer who refuses to accept easy answers. Every question she asks pushes her closer to the truth, and every obstacle placed in her path makes us believe she's fighting an oppressive system built on lies. Naturally, we viewed Bernard and the people running the silo as the villains. But episode 4 quietly asks a dangerous question. What if those people aren't protecting power? What if they're protecting survival? That single possibility changes the entire conversation. One of the episode's biggest surprises comes when Juliette discovers Bernard is still alive. His survival immediately raises new questions because keeping him alive clearly serves a purpose larger than any single character understands. Bernard has always acted as if he carries knowledge that nobody else can afford to have, and now it seems that knowledge is more important than ever. Suddenly, his actions throughout the series begin to look less like simple manipulation and more like someone carrying the unbearable responsibility of preventing catastrophe. The flashbacks deepen that mystery even further. Daniel and Helen continue uncovering pieces of the world's collapse, but every new discovery points toward an invisible force operating behind the scenes. The disaster that destroyed civilization may not have unfolded the way history remembers it. Every answer leads to another layer of deception, suggesting that someone or something has been shaping events for centuries. The conspiracy is no longer about a single silo. It reaches far beyond the underground walls. Then there's Camille, a character whose motivations become far more understandable the deeper the story goes. She's not acting out of cruelty or personal ambition. She's acting because she believes Juliette's survival could destroy everyone inside the silo. Whether that belief is completely true almost doesn't matter. Camille genuinely believes she's protecting innocent lives, and that conviction makes her one of the episode's most compelling characters. In a story where every side believes it's saving humanity, the definition of hero becomes increasingly difficult to recognize. Lucas also represents another fascinating perspective. Unlike many characters, he has already accepted several uncomfortable truths about the outside world. He understands that the surface isn't the paradise people imagined. Yet that knowledge doesn't give him freedom. It doesn't provide a solution. Instead, it leaves him trapped between understanding reality and being powerless to change it. Episode 4 reminds us that knowledge alone isn't enough. Sometimes the truth creates more fear than hope. That brings us back to Juliette. Her greatest strength has always been her refusal to stop asking questions. She refuses to settle for partial answers or convenient explanations. While everyone else eventually accepts a version of reality they can live with, Juliette keeps pushing forward. From her perspective, she's searching for justice. From the perspective of those trying to preserve the silo, however, she's becoming increasingly dangerous. Every secret she uncovers threatens to destabilize a system that has survived for generations. What makes this episode so brilliant is that it never tells the audience who is right. Instead, it forces us to question assumptions we've carried since the very beginning. If exposing every secret causes the collapse of the silo, was keeping those secrets truly evil? If controlling information prevents extinction, where do freedom and survival begin to conflict? Those are the questions episode 4 quietly leaves hanging over every scene. The final moments only deepen the mystery. Bernard's survival, the expanding conspiracy in the flashbacks, and Juliette's relentless search for answers all point toward a much larger endgame that still hasn't revealed itself. The deeper this story goes, the less it feels like a battle between good and evil. It feels like a conflict between survival and truth, and those two ideas may no longer be compatible.
Hello, Juliette.
Welcome to The Film Analyst. If that's where Silo is heading, then Season 3 isn't simply telling the story of a rebellion anymore. It's asking whether humanity can survive complete freedom, or whether some truths are so dangerous that discovering them could destroy everything. And if that turns out to be true, then Juliette Nichols may not be the villain by choice, but she could become the most dangerous person left alive. Thanks for watching.